Hello everyone and welcome to batch 227 in the freeze dryer. So the other day when I escaped to Aldi, I bought these hamburger patties. I think they're $15 for 24 patties, I think. Anyway, what I did was decided to freeze dry them. Partly because I didn't have enough 5-pound tubes of dog food to make a whole batch, which you'd think would be 2 tubes of dog food since my freeze dryer holds 10 pounds, but actually it's more like 2.5, maybe 3, because I thawed, and then I let it drain a little bit, and then I freeze dry it to try to get out most of the moisture that's going to end up in the freeze dryer as ice. Anyway, so always I have felt, why would I freeze dry raw meat if I need to use my preps? I had always just assumed, camping, lunches, not able to cook, power outage, and all those are true and more. And you know what more I'm talking about. But recently, with the meat shortages, not being able to go out to the store, that sort of thing, I've kind of rethought that a little bit. I still will do a lot of meat freeze-dried, cooked and freeze-dried, but I think it's kind of important to go ahead and do some raw meat because it just takes a step out that I can add in later, and just gives us a little more choices. So if we ever have to be forced to stay home again and we can't run out to the store, we're still able to cook. Nobody's gonna get suspicious if they smell certain odors. We still have electricity, we still have a grill, a gas grill. So I decided, yeah, this would be perfect. Just go get some out of storage. So that's what I did. Now, there is a lot of wasted space when you do hamburger patties. There's no two ways around that. I did see someone freeze dry raw hamburger patties, and I saw the video on YouTube, and he had side by side, 2 patties side by side. Now they were either much smaller patties, or the bigger freeze dryer might have wider trays and not just longer trays. I'm not real sure about that. So these are 1/4 pound burgers, and food does shrink a little in the freeze dryer, because when I put these on here, I had to force 4 in here to fit. So I'd say we've got maybe 1 inch of shrinkage between 4 burgers, so not much at all, just enough to notice. And then I didn't want to leave this big empty space like that, so I cut a burger in half and put it there, and then I cut another one in half and put half there and half there, and I even made sure to cut them so I would properly, so that I would, with those little dashes, know which burger half went to which burger. So those 2 go there, and then this one goes with this one up here. Yeah. So that's done, and here's the notes on that. Batch 227, as you can see, as always, I added made a 24-hour final dry. And I've explained why I do that. It's just because I always add time anyway. I don't like the freeze dryer to stop if I'm not there. So I just add the max time that I can. And I can always go ahead and reduce that final time after the first 7 hours that it requires anyway. Excuse me, the first 9 hours. So I reduced my freeze time on this cycle, and I did that because the burgers were already frozen. So if something's already frozen, you can do that. They came straight out of the freezer. And I didn't really need to because I'm the, queen of added time, freeze dryer time anyway. But I lowered the time because I did anticipate getting to this a lot sooner than I did, but that's the story of my life. So then here's what I did. I put, Aldi's just said they were frozen beef patties. They did not say a brand or Aldi's or anything like that. And so the company was Cargill. So they were from Cargill and they were just called restaurant quality. And I got them at Aldi. And they were $15. Actually, I should reduce that because there were 2 burgers that would not fit anyway. And if you're a freeze dryer out there, let me know. I actually thought about stacking them, and that would only be a little bit above the side of the tray. I don't see a problem, and I think I actually might try that on the next batch. And so my freeze dryer ran for 50 hours and 20 minutes. Of that, 10 hours and 50 minutes was added time, so that this could have been done in 39 hours and 30 minutes. But then again, because I add this, make that 24 instead of 9 for my final cycle, you could probably quite easily take another 15 or is it 16 hours off of there and have made this 23 hours for a batch of raw, frozen, pre-frozen hamburger patties. So that's it. And another thing I considered when doing this is I've never taken a hamburger patty that's cooked and tried to freeze dry it. And fat doesn't freeze dry well. So I was kind of also wondering if the cooked fat would have any issue with the ability to freeze dry it properly or the storage. And I know there's fat in the raw meat, but I'm feeling like it's maybe different, but I don't know. So let me show you how I'm packing this up. That's it. I asked my husband, how do you want it packed? 1 burger, 2 burgers, he said 4, and I told him 6 will fit in an envelope. And so I just decided to go ahead and do 6 burgers. And obviously, since I only was able to do 22 burgers with 5.5 on each tray, there's going to be a little less in one, but I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet. And then, of course, since a package of the oxygen absorbers that I use, the 300cc oxygen absorbers, which, if you were wanting to know, I get on Amazon. I buy 1,500 at a time, and the last time I bought them was just maybe less than a month ago, and I think it was $140, which is still a good price. But I think that averages out to, well, a little bit less than 10 cents an absorber. I have gotten them for as low as like $50 or $60 when there was some kind of price feuding going on when Amazon was selling them, as well as a couple of other companies were. So I think it just lowered and lowered. But then if you added it to your basket and paid for it, then, which happened to me, I told somebody, hey, they're like really low. And she went to add it to her basket and to check them out. And she did buy them, but they had already jumped $20 like in 5 minutes. So I'm thinking that there is some sort of algorithm that does that kind of stuff just on its own. I mean, I'm sure it's programmed in to do that, kind of like the YouTube algorithms, like, do what they do. But anyway, so I'm only going to have maybe 4 packages of hamburgers that are raw. So I'll take the oatmeal, which is why I keep items like this around. I'll either take this oatmeal or these packages of Splenda, or maybe both, who knows, a little bit of everything, and use up the rest of the bags so that I have 20 bags so that I can use up all of the oxygen absorbers. And then on top of that, well, this is one of the reasons I keep things like this around. I could go buy a case of these and then just package them all up immediately, but if I did that, then when I needed something to use these oxygen absorbers up with, I wouldn't have that. So that's it, guys. That's what I'm doing today. Just the batch 227 in the freeze dryer. And let me know in the comments, guys, how you're doing and what did you prep today. Be blessed.